Okay. Appleberry, do you want to introduce yourself first? And
Sure. Well, first, welcome to this Zine Pavilion volunteer and tabler orientation. Thank you for making the time to come today. My name's Christina Appleberry. You can call me Christina or Appleberry. Either one is fine. I'm a school librarian in California. Been volunteering with the Zine Pavilion since 2015, and I think this is my third year as an organizer. Yeah, I think that does it for my intro. Kelsey, do you want to say who you are?
yeah, I'm trying to turn on the captioning because I thought I had it, but
Or Andre?
I don't see it. So I'm Kelsey. I live in Olympia, Washington. I was a librarian until January of this year, and now I'm kind of exploring some other options, but I still love libraries and I still love the Zine Pavilion, so I'm coming. And I'm excited to come. I've been involved with the Zine Pavilion, I think 5 other locations, but it's been a few years, as it has for all of us. And by the way, this is going to be super informal, so if you have questions, you can kind of like jump in at any point in time, and then we'll take some time for questions at the end too. And I'd love for everybody to introduce themselves if they're willing. And I will pass it to Andre, who's another organizer.
Hi, I'm Andre. I use they, them pronouns. I am a librarian at the University of Chicago. I've been involved with the Zine Pavilion since year 1. So I guess it just makes me old. And I'm looking forward to working with everyone this year. And I will bounce it to Steph.
Hi, I'm Steph McDevitt. I am one half of the team that the Girls on Film zine. We're a zine about 80s movies. We're so excited. This is our first live event since 2019. We're super pumped, and we were actually at ALA for our first ever live event as a zine in 2019. And we're so excited. I cannot wait. And we are in the DC area.
Excellent.
And I'll send it to Alan.
Hi, I'm Alan. My pronouns are he, him. I'm on the unceded territories of the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh Nations, which is also known as Vancouver in Canada. I'm a public librarian. I work with teens and adults. This past year, I did a little stint as a collections librarian, which was really interesting. But I go back to working with teens next month, and I've worked with the Zine Pavilion a couple of years. I volunteered for them a few times, and I have some zines I want to bring, and I created a zine during the pandemic, which I'll bring. And I have some zines from all my teens too that made some, and they're really cute. So I'll bring those too.
Awesome.
Thanks. I will pass it to Emily.
Hey, hi, I'm Emily. This is my first time volunteering for the Zine Pavilion. I heard about it through my coworker. I work with Anna Ferry. I'm a student with San Jose State getting my MLIS. I work at in Las Vegas at a tiny medical university library as a library assistant. I just kind of support whatever initiatives they want me on. Like right now we're doing a LibGuides review, so that's really exciting to me. I'm really excited to get started. I'll popcorn it over to Rachel. You wanna?
Unmute there. Hi, I'm Rachel. I work with our institutional repository at Kennesaw State, Metro Atlanta. This will be my first ALA in any capacity. Very excited. Yeah, I'll see if I can get I don't have any multiple copies of my own zines, but I've been making a few during the pandemic too, and even some from undergrad. So looking forward to it. And jump to Ashley.
Hey everyone, sorry it took me a minute to get camera ready. My name's Ashley. I'm a zinester. I'm not a librarian. I work for the federal government here in DC, and this will be my first ALA. I do teach a class on zines at Johns Hopkins, so that's, you know, one of the reasons I decided to volunteer this year, but super excited. This is going to be so fun. I have zines. I will bring them. I love to trade with people, so nice to see everyone.
Yay. So it looks like we've got, let's see, besides the organizers, about mostly volunteers and a couple of tablers, which is great because kind of Appleberry and I were talking about this, and a lot of the information is the same for both of you, but some of you might have more specific questions to volunteering or tabling, and we'll have plenty of time to take care of those during this session. So, and if we don't know the answer, sorry, we'll write them down and we'll make sure to get you an answer. So, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, which hopefully you can all see. It says Zine Pavilion Volunteer and Tabler Orientation, June 2022. I'm just going to leave this like editing view up because I'm going to jump around the tabs a little bit. And so I want to say, I know that these slides are very dense and that's not really how you do slideshows, but we're going to send this out to people. So I wanted it to be as complete as possible for anybody who couldn't make it. So, and you'll also get it. So if you need to reference it, there should be all the information that you need. Okay, so I'm just going to try to jam through this pretty quickly. So first question probably is like, where do I go? So you'll pick up your badge at registration, which will be very easy to find. It's like where everybody's going to be going. So you just follow the crowd essentially. There should be plenty of signage and staff around who can direct you if you need some help with that. Once you get, if you have any trouble with that, you can contact Lauren. And there is a link that has all the organizers' contact information that you'll also have access to. Then
Can
you'll
I jump in
down.
for 1 second, Appleberry? Did everybody get an email from ALA? If you didn't get an email from ALA, raise your hand. Okay. Just wanted, I was like, before we forget, I wanted to make sure. Okay.
Good point. Right, so then you'll head to the exhibit hall, which also, you know, will be probably very easy to find, but you'll have, again, conference center staff or ALA staff who can direct you on where to go. Then you'll find the Zine Pavilion. Our booth this year is 3339. This is the floor plan, which there's a link to in the document. I think we're here, this yellow square. It's pretty big and there's a big sign above it with like a pair of scissors that you can see from basically the whole exhibit hall. Once you get there, you can check in with an organizer or another volunteer. The volunteer shifts kind of overlap, so there should always be somebody there for a little while to like orient you if you're just getting there, or answer any questions that you have, show you what to do. We'll try to be wearing badges or buttons that say Zine Pavilion Volunteer or Zine Pavilion Organizer so that you can identify us easily. It's a big cube with like slats on the outside where zines are displayed. You can store your stuff inside of that. It'll be safe. Yeah, that's that. So that's way more information than will be necessary. It'll be very easy to find your way there, I'm sure. If you have any trouble, again, you can check the volunteer and organizer schedule document to see who's supposed to be around and contact them if you need to. So what do volunteers do? We talk to people about zines. There will be a lot of people who don't know what zines are, don't know how to pronounce it, just want some information. So yeah, just try to get people excited about it. And there will be some things that you can give away, like zines about zines and a few other like zines that some of our organizers have made that they'll be willing to give away for free. A major part of this job is to protect the raffle zines. So all the zines on the display on that cube are going to be given away as raffle prizes to 2 winners. And since so much, excuse me, so much stuff at in the ALA exhibit hall is free, people they're just taken, right? So taking and taking. So you got to kind of watch out for that. People are definitely encouraged to look and browse, but if they want to take something, you can just direct them to the table where we've got the free zines. Encourage people to enter the raffle. So all those people trying to take zines, if they really want them, they can enter that raffle. And we'll mail them a box of zines. They don't really have to do anything else. The point of that is for anybody who wants to start a zine collection in their library to get like a starter collection for whatever space they have. So it doesn't have to be a library. It could be a community space or classroom or whatever other kind of thing. Another task, photocopy, fold, and or staple our giveaway zines. So there'll be lots of unfolded zines that we can fold up. There will be a long arm stapler. There's a photocopier in the zine cube, or the Zine Pavilion cube, excuse me. And if you don't know how to fold them, somebody will teach you. All the supplies will be around. So that's a fun thing to do to kill some time. If supplies are running low, we'll have information about who to contact for that. We're not quite sure yet. Keep an eye on the collective zine making table and supplies. So in a second, we'll talk about the programming schedule, but there will be a table with just stuff out the whole time. So pens, scissors, paper, and every year we put together this collaborative zine so attendees can create their own page. We'll put it together, we'll photocopy it, we'll assemble it, and we'll give it away on Monday. You can let people know about our wonderful tablers and clarify that their zines are not free. So zinesters will be in the area selling their work. You can direct people to look at it, but make sure to clarify that they are selling their work. Maybe they'll have something for free, but most likely selling. You don't have to like be eagle-eyed watching those tables, but if you happen to see anybody just like grabbing stuff and going, just clarify that those are for purchase, and we do have free ones if they really want some. Check on our tablers. They may need to take a break to use the restroom, get a snack, make a phone call, whatever they need. So you may be asked to just sit at their table, watch their stuff for a few minutes. If they want you to continue to sell things, you guys can work that out, but probably just to, just to keep an eye on their things. Promote our programming. So there will be schedules of our programming available at the tables for your reference. Also, you can take photos and post on social media. So attendance at the conference does constitute permission for photos and videos to be taken. However, if people really don't want to be in any photos or videos, we ask that you respect that in the Zine Pavilion space. And there's a hashtag Zine Pavilion 2022. I'm not really sure how we'll go about the posting. Maybe we'll make a Google Drive that you can upload to and our social media person will post, or maybe we'll get access to it, or you can just post your own account. We'll have more details about that. Okay, code of conduct. So this is our safer spaces policy. It's basically exactly what you would think it would be. No inappropriate or harassing or discriminatory behavior is tolerated at any time in our space. That doesn't mean that if somebody is yelling at somebody, you need to intervene, but we'll want to like go find the conference services people or some kind of security or something. I don't think we've ever really had a problem with that, so hopefully we won't. I know this pandemic has made people a little crazier. So fingers crossed, that won't be an issue. So if you have a question, you can ask a Zine Pavilion organizer or a volunteer. A lot of our volunteers have been with us for several years, like Alan's been a few times, so he might know some of the answers to questions. There should almost always be an organizer around. If not, there will be a contact sheet posted and you'll have access to a digital copy of that. Check with conference services. So if it's about accessibility, security, something at a ALA level, there should be a conference services booth on the exhibit floor. We haven't been able to figure out where that is yet, but we will find out. We'll post those details also at the Zine Pavilion area. Or you can call or text one of the organizers. So our phone numbers will be around. It'll say who prefers text or phone calls. It's been my experience that in the exhibit hall or at some of the conference rooms, cell service is spotty. So as much detail as you can provide will help get those questions answered quickly. Yes, so I think that covers. So with your exhibitor badge, you can go basically all over the, you can do most things at ALA. So there's the exhibit hall, and you will have a little bit of early access to that before the opening. We'll be setting up starting that afternoon if you want to come by and just check out the space or ask questions or meet people. There's lots of stuff going on in the exhibit hall, lots of author signings, there are panel discussions, and often tables full of snacks and treats, free books, tote bags, stuff like that. Not everything's free. So some of the book signings, you'll have to purchase a book to get it signed or whatever. And I've heard from some other organizers that with their exhibitor badge, vendors don't want to give them like advanced copies of books or things like that. I've never had that problem, but I usually introduce myself as a librarian. So you can do that. If you're not a librarian, you can just say you are. I think that's okay. Get yourself some free books. And you can go to any of the non-ticketed conference programs. There are tons and tons of workshops and speakers. There's film screenings, social events. Ticketed events are clearly denoted as such in the scheduler. There's like a little ticket icon thing next to them. The schedule is like really, it's kind of intense. So 1,309 results for schedules. The first couple of days are mostly like committee and business stuff. So the good stuff starts Friday and goes through Monday. And then you can limit it by different stuff. That's fun to play around with, and you can, whatever you're interested in, you can find more things. There's a scheduler app that's kind of useful, but sometimes glitchy, but it's nice to have it accessible on your phone. And what else should you know? Okay, so if you're running late or for some reason you can't come to your shift, we understand that things happen, but just let us know like as soon as you know, so we can make accommodations. Here are some links to Zine resources, just for anybody who's not familiar with them. Our volunteer and organizer schedule, including a contact list. So that looks like this. This is the volunteer schedule. Your name will be to the left of your shift. Organizers are filling in when they'll be around. So if you're there Sunday at 11 and you've got a question, you can look for Lauren. And then there's a link to some volunteer duties here and our contact information. So make sure that you use that if you need it. There are raffle forms. If we run out, there's a link to the doc to print more. But there should be an original that you can just photocopy. volunteer dues. And then our programming. So here's a link to it, but I've also included it here because Kelsey had the great idea that we should be really explicit about what we're doing so that you'll all know and can get excited about it. So all weekend we'll have the collaborative zine going and Zines Out Loud virtual readings that will be posted on the YouTube channel. So you can check in with those anytime. And for tablers and volunteers, if you want to be part of the virtual readings, there's a link to a form in here, and you can reach out to Anna Ferry and she can give you some more details.
I'm just gonna mention that the form says that the deadline is like in 3 days, but I checked with Anna and that's, don't just ignore that. I mean, send it in as soon as you can, but don't let the deadline discourage you. And the tablers and volunteers are all welcome to read. We want lots of entries.
Yes. Okay. Friday, during the opening, the exhibit hall opening, we'll do a zine swap. So bring your zines and meet some folks. If you can't make it that evening, you can do informal swapping as the conference goes on. Saturday, we'll do in-person zine readings from 2 to 3 at the Zine Pavilion. All of this stuff will take place in the exhibit hall in our space. There will be a podium and a mic and chairs all set up unless otherwise noted. For example, this visit to MLK Library to see the DC Punk Archive, which should be very cool. You can either meet at the Zine Pavilion or meet at that library. It's in walking distance from the conference.
And we are going to do a social hour after that. So after the MLK Library visit, if anyone wants to come hang out, somebody's trying to identify an outdoor location where we can hang out and spend some time with each other. So you're all invited.
It should be fun. Okay, then on Sunday, the Zine Union catalog. So Lauren, who has been doing our registration, is going to be presenting this program. And then Monday will be the zine pickup for that collaborative zine that we work on, that people have been working on all weekend. And that's about it. At the end on Monday, we once we are shutting down, we'll box up. We'll choose our 2 raffle winners, box up everything. There's usually a post office on site, and so we'll just take it over. So you might, if you're on that shift, you might be asked to help box up zines. And I think that's all I've got. We count on our volunteers and tablers to make the Zine Pavilion happen and make it great and spread the word about how awesome zines are. So we really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm sure there are questions and probably things I've missed because we've never really done a volunteer orientation before. So if you've got questions, the floor is open. See, there's a chat. I don't know if there's questions in there, but I'll stop sharing.
No questions yet, but Andres mentioned that the Artist Alley and Graphic Novel Roundtable will be back, which is awesome.
Oh, cool.
So
yeah, that Artist Alley is really pretty awesome. Lots of like comics, illustrators, and writers and stuff.
And I think it's pretty close to the Zine Pavilion too, so that's exciting. So you should all go over and meet them too. Who has questions?
I'm only going to be there on Monday. So I'd signed up for a morning shift. I want to make sure that I have time to swing around the exhibitor hall. So I was hesitant to sign up for a second shift, but would be able to come back and help with cleanup. Would that be okay?
Yes, if it's a big old exhibit hall, so
Uh-huh.
you maybe want to just let yourself take the
Okay.
time to, yeah,
Okay.
we'll it's not as much work as it seems like. So, and we've got organizers who are tasked with taking care of the raffle. So any help that is available is appreciated, but make the most of your time in there for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
The other thing is that it's a pretty, like we do the schedule to make sure that we have kind of the basics covered, but what a lot of people end up doing is they just kind of come and it becomes sort of like it's super overwhelming. So it becomes sort of like a safe space. So you can come hang out at the Zine Pavilion whenever you want. And sometimes people even just go and like just sit and have kind of a respite from the chaos that is what is it called now? They're calling it something new. The exhibit hall
library
is called-
marketplace.
Yes, the library marketplace. So if you see that, that's the exhibit hall.
Yeah, when there's those snacks, you can get a little plate and then come sit at the Zine Pavilion and eat in peace.
And then the other thing that happens is a lot of times if people are feeling overwhelmed, the cube in the middle that has a door, sometimes people just go in there and hang out. So you're all welcome to do that. It is a closed space, but and then, if you find that you want to volunteer more, I would say that that's fine. So. Okay, Emily has
also,
a question.
you want
Oh,
to,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, because you mentioned that cube, and I have often like dropped off a load of books that I have because they're very heavy to carry around. So if you need to do that, then that's also
Kind of a home base.
Yeah, it's nice.
Emily has a question. Are the zines for the raffle organized by audience? I feel that might be a question for librarians that work with younger patrons.
They're not. It'll just be a grab bag of what's on there for sure. Some older audience material.
Yeah,
we do try to, at least in the past, we have tried to make sure that public libraries get more all age material. When we give to a small college library, for example, we'll give them more adult material. So there, in the past, has been some effort at triage. But
yeah,
we'll see what happens this year.
Yeah, and we also can't read everything, so sometimes they look innocent and they're not.
But that is also a good thing to do if you have like a volunteer shift and you have a slow minute, is just to read them, because then you can recommend them too. And the other thing is that, as you all know, zines are generally more adult. Not all of them, but I feel like when I was collecting for a public library, finding zines for kids or even teens was like a little bit more challenging than finding stuff for adults. But it's always the goal to have all ages zines. It's a good question. What else? Does anyone have questions about the COVID precautions? We forgot to mention those.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I guess, so masks, obviously, and proof of vaccination. Do you show the proof of vaccination when you pick up your registration?
That was a question we had, and we don't know. I would bring it, and we did get confirmation that like the phone, the app that shows your vaccination is fine. But we don't know. We haven't figured out how they're going to do that during the registration. They will ask you for ID for sure.
I was just, my volunteer shift is on Sunday, but can I come register early? Like,
Yes.
on Thursday is?
Yes.
Okay.
You can register whenever you want. That's a
Okay,
good
awesome.
question.
Sweet. Thanks.
Yeah, because you should take advantage of you should take advantage of that time. You can't get into any of the things without registering. So register as soon as you can. Sorry, I'm
I will say that on Thursday itself, people are mostly setting up in the library marketplace. So there's you can come help us set up, but
Yes.
there's not much going on in there until it opens on Friday evening.
I was probably just gonna swing by because I have to be in the city anyway. So I just figured like run by, register, and then go do the other stuff I had to do. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's fine. I just didn't want you, coming in a Thursday expecting it to be.
good. Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
There are some sessions on Thursday, but they're mostly like committee meetings and stuff like that, which, you can go to. They'll just be like, hello. They're a little weird for me, but
Depends on the committee. As somebody who's a
yes.
member of the graphic novel roundtable and the European Studies section, we're really open and welcoming.
Yes, totally. I've gone to ones where people are it's like they're sort of like, why are you here? But they also don't mind, and it's interesting. Oh, thank you, Charisma. That's great.
There's all those. Last time we did the conference, it was also in DC, and it was the solstice, and there was like things open late. The portrait gallery, like courtyard had a concert. It was cool. So yeah, if you're coming in for the conference, there's so much to do. But yeah.
Yeah, and then the exhibitor hall hours, the Friday night is kind of the kickoff, so it's open till 7 that night. That's the latest night, and then Saturday and Sunday it's 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
And then Monday it ends at 2. And so tablers sometimes there's usually less people on Monday because some people are sort of, that's okay, Andre.
Hi, Andre.
We'll see you in a couple weeks. Sometimes on Mondays, if there's less people there and you're a tabler, you'll sell a lot. That was my experience because there's less things to look at. So if you're able to come on Monday, come, but if not, don't worry about it too much. It's pretty steady traffic all weekend at the exhibits hall. So.
Oh, I'd also like, for local people especially, if you know anybody who would like to volunteer, we'll still take volunteers. We can sign up like as many people as we can.
Yeah.
And it's always nice to have more people around. So it's a cool chance to go to this like insane event. 25,000.
And I would also say that we could use a couple more tablers because we've had some people drop off at the last minute, particularly if anyone's local. It might be easier for them to jump in, since they're around there. Planning to travel across the country at this point is probably not realistic, but Steph, if you know anyone, let me know.
Yeah, we'll think about it. We'll think about it. I'll let you know.
Yeah, I've had a hard time finding people that are local for some reason. I reached out to the DC Zine Fest and all the places that I thought maybe would have some recommendations and haven't really heard back. So
do you have any contacts in Baltimore? I feel like last time I did it, we had a bunch of Maryland people come down. I don't think I have any currently, but that might not be a bad place to look.
yeah, that's a good idea. No, I didn't do that. Yeah, we probably have room for like 3 or 4 more people. Oh, and that's the other thing is with the COVID precautions, we just thought it would be easier to give everybody their own table. So one of the questions was, if you don't mind sharing a table, we can do that too. But otherwise you get a whole table to yourself. So. Any other questions? I will reach out to Baltimore. Good idea.
Okay, well, we got through that pretty fast.
We did.
I'm happy with that. We'll post this recording on the Zine Pavilion's YouTube channel and send out the slides for your reference.
And yeah, if you're interested in reading, doing either the in-person reading or the recorded reading or both, reach out to us, and that's going to be fun. I'm going to be facilitating the in-person reading, so if you have any questions with that on Saturday at 2, I think, reach out to me. And I think I sent to everybody my, I sent all the tablers my contact info, including my phone number. So, all right. You get to all go have a Saturday now. Thank you, Charisma.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. This is the first time we've done it, so nice to know that there's some interest in it.
Yeah. We figured an opportunity for questions, but it's always a lot of emailing, but sometimes questions come up in person that we don't think of. So
Yeah, if you think of anything, feel free to reach out.
oh, and the last thing I'm going to mention is that there's a hot dog and chili place, and we're trying to figure out a time
Ben's Chili Bowl?
to go to that. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yes, and we're talking about like doing a little social, informal social thing for that. It's got a really interesting history. So if anyone's interested in jumping in on that, it sounds like right now there are people that want to go Thursday night and there are people that want to go Friday night. So we could go either way. All right.
Okay, thanks.
Look forward to seeing you all in not very much time. Less than 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh
Exciting.
my gosh.
I know. I got to get going on a zine. Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Bye,
well, see you
Alan.
next
Can't wait
Thanks,
to see
everybody.
you.
Thank you.